What's up, guys? Today I'm going to be doing a solo episode due to the fact that I had a falling out with my partner. Can't stand the guy. After one episode, there was just too many disagreements, so we decided to call it quits. No, I'm joking. My brother had to go down to Laredo to take care of some things, and I wanted to take advantage to talk about a topic that he's heard thousands of times, so I didn't want to put him through that once more. But I do want to take this opportunity to address something that I'm constantly asked about, or different questions that I'm asked, all pertaining to weight, to health. And when I'm asked these questions, I don't want to be rude. Sometimes I feel like I have to bite my tongue because people ask you with an answer in mind already. Like, hey, what do you think about this food or this diet, or what diet should I be doing? Or what about this exercise? Or I heard about this supplement. And they don't want to sit down and hear about all the things that they're not doing that are more important or have a bigger impact than that one food, that diet, that supplement. But to be fair, a lot of misconceptions have been shared, or just shared by the fitness industry, whether it's because we don't have the full picture, because we're very simplistic in our view of health and we think that it's just losing weight, or because the fitness industry makes money off of you not being able to have sustainable fat loss, or you being healthy. And we can talk about the pharmaceutical industry, the medical industry, the fitness industry, and how there's more money to be made from you being sick, unhealthy, and overweight. Even if that means that you temporarily lose weight in a way that is, again, temporary, not to be redundant. But I want to address all those things in a simple way. I don't want this to be technical. I don't want it to be complex. I want to get straight to the point, talk about the things that are going to actually impact your health, your life, your well-being, and shoot you straight. So let's start with some of the misconceptions that have been portrayed by the fitness industry, which I think the first and most important one is we've been led to believe that losing weight means we're getting healthier. And when we talk about health, we're talking about living a vibrant, energetic, fulfilling life. We need to start connecting every single aspect of our well-being in our life, not just our physical state, not just how we look, not just how much we weigh on the scale. Our health determines our hormones, which determines our mental state, our mood, our focus. Our health also can lead to a long, fulfilling life, or it can also lead to a life that's cut short or that's lived with limitations, physical limitations, mental limitations, emotional limitations. Or worst of all, we have symptoms of things not being okay within our body that we never address because our focus is only to lose weight or to look a certain way. And then we pass on those faulty systems or whatever is not working properly onto our children, our babies, and then they're born with disadvantages, which is simply not fair. And in my opinion, again, this is not medical advice. I'm not telling you what to do or what not to do. I'm sharing my perspective and what's worked with me and my clients. I mean, it's each one's responsibility to do their due diligence, but I do see a lot of people manipulating and making money off of these misinterpretations or misinformation or misconceptions. So to start off, we can lose weight while not improving our health and actually making it worse. I see this very often, or I used to see this when I used to work in a gym setting, where people come in wanting to lose weight, and part of it is obviously wanting to be healthier. So they hire a trainer, or they start working out and they purchase a diet plan, or that's the two main things that people do. They get a new diet and they either hire a trainer or they buy a workout program or they start working out based on videos that they see on YouTube, which is fine. All those things have a place, and I'm not saying that they don't work. Yes, they do work. But when it comes to health, there's a list of hierarchy that we need to be addressing in order to actually be healthy. Because my question to you is it worth it to lose some weight if at the same time you're increasing your risk of long-term disease or illness, things like cancer, things like diabetes, Alzheimer, dementia, even things like anxiety, depression, infertility, or reproductive issues if you are able to have babies. A whole We can talk about breast cancers, prostate cancers, tumors, all these things. We might think that it's out of our control, but there's definitely things that we can do that influence our probabilities of getting those things or suffering those things or being able to live without those limitations. So before I go any further, I don't want to make this technical, but I do want to establish something. Each individual as an organism is made up of systems. So we have different systems. We have the nervous system, we have the digestive system, the immune system, the circulatory system, and so on and so forth. Each system is made up of different organs. To give you a simple example, our digestive system is made up of our gut, our intestines, our stomach. Each organ is made up of tissues. Each tissue is made up of cells. And all our cells, except the red blood cells, but a majority of our cells, contain mitochondria. So that thing we learned about in high school being the powerhouse of the cell and giving us energy, excuse me, is the foundation of health. So I want to ask you, how many times have you heard about optimizing your mitochondrial function, or what even affects your mitochondrial function in a positive or negative way? So I want to make it clear first and foremost that even if you don't understand the whole story, your mitochondria and how they function is the foundation of health. So if our mitochondria is experiencing dysfunction, that's going to affect the cell, and then the cell is going to affect the tissues, and then the tissues are going to affect the organs are going to affect the system, and that's when we have disease and illness. So it's a chain reaction, and it starts with our mitochondria. So I'm going to jump back to this topic later, but when it comes to the fitness industry focusing on strictly weight loss, there's a lot of things that we do that are deteriorating our health. For example, when we want to lose weight, it'd be amazing if our weight management was as simple as a math equation of calories in versus calories out. If that was that simple, it would be beautiful. And obviously it's appealing. Who wouldn't want to hear like, hey, you just have to eat this amount of calories and burn this amount of calories to lose weight and be healthier? Unfortunately, our body is much more complex than that. And quick side note, the way we come up with calories goes way back. I don't know the exact year, but they would measure foods, they would package them, and then put that packaging in like a water oven, and then they would electrocute the food, and however much the water temperature rose, that's how much calories that food contained. Now let me ask you, without knowing too much about the topic, do you think that's how your body works? Do you think you put food into your body and it's heated up, and the water that rises is how many calories you're putting into your body? That's not the way it works. It's way too simplistic. And another drawback of this is when we go by calories in versus calories out, we completely throw quality out the window. So again, this is done on purpose in my perspective. It's easy to sell you low calorie protein bars and protein shakes and supplements and pills and potions and low sugar foods. All these things that are sold to you as low calorie come with chemicals, with vegetable oils, with additives, with preservatives, with things that damage your mitochondria. So again, I don't want to go too into detail to not make it complex, but imagine the difference in your cells, in your mitochondria, when you're eating grass-fed beef, when you're eating vegetables that are grown seasonally and locally and organic, without pesticides, without chemicals, compared to a protein bar, a protein shake, or processed foods that are sold to you as healthy. It's completely different. So with natural foods, we can actually take those nutrients, those electrons, which I don't want to get too much into detail because it gets a little bit more complex, but we get those nutrients that we can use for energy compared to having to ingest all these chemicals, all these pesticides, all these vegetable oils into our body. And now our mitochondria has to use its resources, its energy to fight off all the toxins, to get rid of all the chemicals. And that's energy that doesn't go to the cells to be able to function properly. So you can 100% lose weight with these protein shakes, with these protein bars, with these processed foods, and at the same time deteriorate your health. And it comes down to your mitochondria. So that's one big thing that needs to be addressed. Our nutrition is much more complex than calories in versus calories out. And when we take that approach, we are giving room to ingesting very poor, very low quality chemicals that aren't even ingredients. They're chemicals made in the lab. And to be sold as health foods, to me, it's manipulative and it should be illegal at the very least. But instead, you're buying into these things and people are making money off of you deteriorating your health, sadly. Another thing that needs to be addressed, resistance training or working out with weights is super important. It's one of the best forms of exercise. I would rank it higher than cardio. Not to say that you don't have to do cardio, but building and maintaining muscle is crucial for your metabolism and for your longevity. So yes, lifting weights is super important. Resistance training is super important. But when you have coaches that are having you work out or doing programs or boot camp classes at 5 a.m., at 6 a.m., before the sun has even risen under artificial lights, or they have you doing workouts or boot camp classes or gym classes or whatever they want to call it at 8 p.m., at 9 p.m., 10 p.m., it drives me insane. It drives me crazy. This either comes because they don't care about your health and they just want to make a quick buck, or they simply don't understand the importance of your circadian rhythm, the importance of natural lighting versus artificial lighting, and the effect that it has on your mitochondria. Now, we'll go into specifics in other videos where I can dive more into detail. I want to keep this one as short and simple as possible. But if you're emphasizing working out over your circadian rhythm, over exposing yourself to natural sunlight, and exposing yourself to artificial light while you're working out, yes, you can build muscle. Yes, you can lose weight. But I need you to understand that that is causing harm to your mitochondria that is going to manifest maybe not right now, even though you might be feeling the symptoms of mitochondrial dysfunction through a whole host of symptoms. There's a whole spectrum. It starts off minor with headaches, with joint pain, with erectile dysfunction, with maybe sadness, with brain fog, with lack of clarity, with lack of energy. And then it builds up, since we don't address it, to again long-term disease like Alzheimer's, like cancers, like diabetes, and a whole spectrum of disease and illness. So you can be working out right now and gaining muscle right now and losing weight, and I'm not talking you against that. No, let's just be smart about it, and let's do it in a way where we can sustain longevity, sustain good quality health, and build muscle and lose weight. But if we're putting ourselves through artificial lighting and messing up our circadian rhythm and messing up our mitochondria and messing up our cells, what good is it to lose weight right now, to build muscle right now? Because I can almost assure you, and I say almost because for legal issues, I don't want to get in trouble, but I can tell you that there are very high probabilities that you can lose weight, that you can build muscle, but if you maintain that disruption of your circadian rhythm, you're at some point going to deal with some disease, with some illness that you don't have to. All you have to do is optimize your circadian rhythm and understand that your mitochondria is always getting input from your environment, from your external environment, which is sunlight, which is grounding, and our internal environment, which is the food we're putting in. So again, in future videos, I will go more into detail. But for now, I want to address these misconceptions. Another clear example of how the fitness industry does not give a crap about your health. And I know you see a lot of fitness influencers that look very sexy, that look very good, very muscular. And these are some signs for you to look out for, that they don't have a clue about what health really means and the things that actually affect their health. So if you see a fitness influencer or a trainer or whatever covered head to toes in Gymshark and Lululemon and Nike and all these clothing brands that use plastics and chemicals in their clothing, that we can turn a blind eye, or we can not look into it. It looks good, it makes me look more muscular, it highlights my curves, and that's fine and all, but we have to understand that the chemicals used in those clothing that we are putting on our skin, and our skin absorbs those chemicals and go into our system, and they're causing hormonal imbalances and hormonal issues. It's a thing. It's a real thing. We can turn a blind eye. We can decide not to look into it, not to question things because it's convenient, because it's conveniency. I don't want to think about these things and how they're affecting me. But if you are covered head to toe in the gym with synthetic clothing, with polyester, with all these plastics and chemicals, you're absorbing that into your system, and that's having an effect on your hormones that either in the near, mid, or long future are gonna come up as unwanted symptoms. So to add to that, you are covered in plastics and chemicals, and then you go to a gym where there's artificial lighting, where there's next point, I'm sorry, I'm all over the place. But if you see fitness people wearing wireless headphones, again, I don't want to be complex or make this difficult, but just understand that wireless technology, wireless radiation is basically frying and burning our mitochondria. I'm being very simplistic for the sake of making this as short and simple as possible. I will get more into detail in future videos. I will not repeat that again. I just want to make sure that you guys understand that. But by putting those headphones in between, or our brain being in between that wireless radiation, we're basically cooking our brain cells. We're messing up our mitochondria in our brain and the rest of our body. So you can simply swap that out by using wired headphones. It's not complex, but non-native EMF, electromagnetic fields, and artificial radiation is a thing. That's why, to the best of my ability, I avoid wireless headphones. I avoid putting my cell phone to my head. I avoid using the microwave, because those electromagnetic fields, those frequencies that are not natural, are having a negative effect on my body. So you might think you're getting healthier by going to the gym under artificial light, wearing your wireless headphones in synthetic material, and you can be losing weight and you can be gaining muscle, but you're doing yourself a disservice. You're actually deteriorating your health, and sooner or later the symptoms, or the probabilities of you experiencing those symptoms, are higher than they would be otherwise. So to recap, if your approach is eating processed foods, focusing on calories, if you're ignoring your circadian rhythm, if you're not being mindful of exposing yourself to natural sunlight in a smart, efficient way, if you're being exposed to artificial light most of the day, if you're covering yourself in synthetic clothing, if you're exposing yourself constantly to artificial frequencies, like having your cell phone in your head or on your head, having wireless headphones, those things, if you look into them, I know it's more convenient to talk about calories in, calories out, and that's all you need. That's all you have to do. But these things that we're not talking about are causing a big effect. And if I'm gonna post some stories linking or showing correlation between mitochondrial dysfunction and a whole spectrum of disease and illness, from anxiety to breast cancer to prostate cancer to depression to diabetes to Alzheimer's to dementia. And it all comes down to the foundation of health, which is your mitochondria. I will make a part 2 of this video. For now, I want to leave you guys with that. If you guys have any questions or anything you want to learn more about, this is what I specialize in: finding nutrition protocols or finding a nutrition lifestyle, finding creating a lifestyle that includes strength training, that includes proper nutrition, but doing it in a way where everything else, the foundation of health, is being optimized so that what we're building on is amplified, rather than focusing on working out and focusing on a certain nutrition program and we're neglecting and ignoring all the other things, and we might be losing weight but we're deteriorating our health. So that's what I specialize in: making it simple, making it a lifestyle, and actually being able to enjoy that lifestyle for many years to come. And if you do want to have kids, being able to pass down your best, the best of yourself. That means, quick little side note, and I love talking about this, but just so y'all know, life is the way it is for whatever reason, but each one of us inherit our mother's mitochondria. So for females, it's of the utmost importance, if you want to be a mother, to optimize your mitochondria. And I've personally dealt with or helped clients that haven't experienced a menstrual cycle in months, which is a big symptom of hormonal imbalance. I've worked with females that have PCOS and infertility problems. So by focusing on a weight program and a nutrition program, you're not going to address those things. We can actually influence those things. We can actually impact those things by having that hierarchy optimized. So I will talk more about these steps or what to do, provide solutions in more detail in future videos. For now, I want to leave you guys with this. Thank you for watching. I hope this is valuable. We will address more things. We will talk about more things. We will find a solution, and we will reverse this lack of health epidemic, this disease epidemic, this illness epidemic, because too many of our loved ones have lost their life. Too many of us have accepted our life living with depression, with anxiety, with overweight, with hormonal imbalances, with fertility issues, with reproductive issues. All these things that we've accepted as normal are not natural. It's a byproduct and a consequence of our environment, of our lifestyle, but we can 100% address this. We can revert this, and we will. Trust me, that is my mission. That is my purpose. So thank you guys for following along. Thank you for watching this. I love y'all. Any questions, any comments, feel free to comment here, to send me a message, whatever. I am here to help. So I love y'all, and I'll end with that.